The title of the lecture is Evolution of Party System in India, and today I'll be discussing about the evolution of the party system in stages. We can say till 1967, Indian party system followed a one-party dominance model where the Congress was in a predominant position. After 1967, there has been a transition and slowly regional parties and the state parties have come up. They have become powerful, they have strengthened their position and formed multi-party coalition models at several stages. In a democracy, the political parties play a very important role. They are a link between the government and the people. They try to satisfy the aspirations and the wishes of the people, and they try to make an agenda which will satisfy the people, because at the end of their tenure, they have to get to the vote bank and finally form another government only when they get the support of the vote bank. Professor Lasky has defined that political parties are inevitable in a democracy, and a vibrant democracy will function well only when the political parties play their role well. India has several numbers of political parties, and ideologically they can be classified into leftist, centrist, rightist, communal or secular parties. There are national parties, regional parties. At this point of time, there are 7 national parties. They are Bahujan Samaj Party, Bharatiya Janata Party, Communist Party of India, Communist Party of India Marxist, Indian National Congress, Nationalist Congress Party, and All India Trinamool Congress Party. The regional parties, as I've already said, that they have also come up and they are playing not only a major role in state politics, they're also playing a very significant role in the national politics. Among the regional parties, there are Biju Janata Dal in Orissa, Dravida Munitra Kazhagam, and All India Anna Dravida Munitra Kazhagam in Tamil Nadu, Telugu Desam Party in Andhra Pradesh, Shiromani Akali Dal in Punjab, Ashom Gano Porishad in Assam. Political parties in India have played a very constructive role in maintaining a strong democracy. Post-Indian independence, we find that the Congress party had a predominant position. Historically, the Congress party had played a very important role in the struggle for independence. So, it had a legitimacy and the people believed in the Congress, and we find that till 1967 that the Congress is having a predominant position in the national political scenario. Indian National Congress had a very good networking system where the national party leaders could have good communication with the grassroots leaders, and this communication and networking helped the Congress to get to know about the demands and wishes of the people at the ground level. The aspirations and the requirements of the local leaders could reach the national leaders, and it was found in the agenda of the Congress. During this time, that is till 1967, the Congress had been successful in bringing the traditional and the modern needs closer. This is a time when the opposition parties were not yet successful to become an alternative to Congress. Robert Dahl had stated that dominant status was given to the Congress because it got 50% of the popular votes and a good representation in Parliament. Here I would like to add that Maurice Duverger was the first one who introduced the term dominance in 1951, and from this term we get that Congress was a dominant party ruling the center as well as in states till 1967. But the death of Pandit Nehru impacted the Indian political scene. Nehru's death led to a leadership crisis within the party. Dissident groups came up. Some of the dissident groups are the Jana Congress in Bengal, Madhya Pradesh and Orissa, Jana Kranti Dal in Bihar, Jana Paksha in Mysore, and Jana Party in Rajasthan. During this time, several corruption charges also came up against the Congress. The overall scenario was also becoming difficult for the Congress to remain the dominant party. There were rising economic crises in the country as there was devaluation of Indian rupee, a fall in the growth, rising price, famine in Bihar, and several other problems which led to a situation where slowly the position of Congress went down and the state parties came into a strengthened position at the state level. And this was a time period between 1967 to 1971. But now again in 1971 to 77 we find that there is restoration of the Congress and a one-party dominance model again coming up. Now I would like to add here that in 1967 Indira Gandhi was facing a lot of leadership crisis. But during 1971 there was a change and she reached a new high. The position of Indira Gandhi improved a lot and the Bangladesh war was very much a reason because of which Indira Gandhi improved her leadership position not only in the government, in the state, but also internationally. Competitive mechanism within the dominant party of the Congress soon was missing. Indira Gandhi became the main leader and she became the omnipotent leader. No form of opposition or factionalism were accepted by Indira Gandhi and she slowly moved into a system where she was taking most of the decisions with the advice of some Congress leaders. During this time, Professor Rajni Kothari has stated that there is a shift in the position of the Congress party. There was this transformation of the Congress party from a movement to a government and finally a caucus which happened during the emergency. There was complete identification of the party and the government. But soon we found that the popularity of Indira Gandhi decreased. There were several reasons for it. There was international inflation, there were droughts, railway workers' strike took place, and several corruption or anti-corruption movements took place where the mass were very unhappy with several moves of the Congress party. These mass movements were led by Morarji Desai in Gujarat and Jai Prakash Narayan. In June 1975, Allahabad High Court took a decision and the decision was against Indira Gandhi regarding malpractices in the electoral system. 1975, 26th June, the emergency was declared and at the garb of the emergency, several violations took place and the human rights were totally destructed. This was a time which followed with the Janata Party coalition model, that is from 1977 to 1979. For the first time in India, we find a two-party system has emerged where the Janata Party was working with a collective leadership which was trying to bring in all the differences and trying to sort out within its own party. This was totally different from what Indira Gandhi followed in the autocratic leadership during her emergency rule. However, soon we find that in the Janata Dal, there were differences which were coming up. Morarji Desai failed to keep the party together. The Janata government broke up due to several centrifugal forces. By this time, the anti-Congress move was also lessened, and we find that in 1980, Indira Gandhi comes back to power with the support of the vulnerable groups. The next phase, again, there is the restoration of the Congress dominance under Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. This was a period from 1980 to 89. The center, we find the Congress dominance during this phase. But one thing that should be mentioned here, that after 1980, the multi-party tendency, it was coming up in the states. New opposition parties were coming up in the states. Nearly half of the states were ruled by parties which were state parties. 1984, Rajiv Gandhi comes to power with a massive mandate. And we can see here that this mandate was very much influenced by the sympathy vote that Congress got after the assassination of Indira Gandhi. Rajiv Gandhi in the initial years were very successful. He went into peace accords, peace processes, so that he showed a lot of tolerance to the dissident groups. Peace accords were signed in Punjab, Assam, Mizoram, Tripura in the mid-1980s. Professor Ashish Nandi has stated here that in the initial 2.5 years of Rajiv Gandhi's rule, there's a lot of legitimacy and support from the civil society. But after that 2.5 years, the support from the civil society soon fizzled out. Several corruption charges against the Rajiv Gandhi government came up. Parliamentary enactment to reverse the Shah Banu case judgment of the Supreme Court annoyed many. And it was said that in order to please the Orthodox Muslim section, Rajiv Gandhi had gone in for such parliamentary enactment even after Supreme Court had gone in for a very revolutionary decision in the Shah Banu case. Rajiv Gandhi also allowed Shilanyas near the disputed site of Ayodhya. So slowly we find that the popularity of Rajiv Gandhi in the initial years slowly melted away. The opposition parties stated that Rajiv Gandhi was ruling with a coterie. There were few people who were having all the powers. There was centralization of power in the Rajiv Gandhi government, and it's a kitchen cabinet which was ruling the country. That is, Rajiv Gandhi with some of his close aides were actually ruling the country. The Congress party, many leaders of the Congress party or many cabinet members did not have much say in the governmental decisions. Now we start off with the last phase in the evolution of the Indian political party system, which started in 1989. This phase is very important because we find that there is this multi-party coalition government model which is coming up. This is a phase like in 1989, there was lots of restlessness among the people. There was a north-south divide in the voting pattern, lack of democracy within the Congress, and a large majority of the Congress leaders were being elected from the south. The practice of nominating chief ministers continued during the Rajiv Gandhi rule as it was in his mother's time. 1989 election was important because the opposition gave a strong fight. The voters rejected Congress I in 1989 but failed to provide a unanimous support to the National Front. VP Singh became the Prime Minister. He led the Janata Dal and it was a minority government. We have to remember that this phase is important because other than the national parties, the state parties are also getting importance. 1989 election led to a situation where Bharatiya Janata Party and the left supported the government from outside. BJP or the Bharatiya Janata Party took this period as a cooling off period where it could reconstruct or restructure its organization and its leadership so that they could become victorious in the next election. We have to remember here that the BJP was already in power in 6 states during this time. The left took this as a cooling off period where the minority government proved to be a good bargaining position for the left. Prime Minister VP Singh initially played an important and significant role in the National Front government. He brought in conflicting interests together and had tried to reach the consensus. But VP Singh's step to reserve central government and public sector employment for OBCs created a furor in the country. Soon, National Front government faced no confidence vote after Bharatiya Janata Party deprived its support. The Socialist Janata Party split from the Janata Dal. Chandrasekhar became the Prime Minister of a minority government. The Congress supported it. Soon, the 10th Lok Sabha elections took place and the Congress became victorious with popularity in votes as well as seats. This was again a historic situation for the Congress because P.V. Narasimha Rao formed a minority government. And a very important thing is that during this situation of political instability, P.V. Narasimha Rao, in spite of having a minority government, had been successful in completing the full tenure of 5 years. During this period, in the 10th Lok Sabha election, we find that the Janata Dal and the left saw fall in the share of votes. There was improvement in the position of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And another important point regarding this particular stage was that economic liberalization took place during P.V. Narasimha Rao's prime ministership. The liberalization, privatization, globalization concepts were very much implemented during this phase, which has changed the total image of India. 1996 Lok Sabha elections. The Bharatiya Janata Party became the single largest party, followed by the Congress and the Janata Dal. Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the Prime Minister and he led a minority government. He failed to get parliamentary allies' support and ultimately, before the confidence vote, he resigned. Soon, H.D. Devegaura of the Janata Dal led a minority government with non-BJP and non-Congress parties. In the Federal Front, in the United Front, there were several parties which played an important role. They were Assam Gana Parishad of Assam, Telugu Desam Party of Andhra Pradesh, Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam of Tamil Nadu, and All India Trinamool Congress in West Bengal. The National Conference of Jammu Kashmir also joined this united front of government. Congress and Communist Party of India Marxists were part of the steering committee of the United Front, and there was an apex committee which consisted of the Prime Minister and the Congress President. I.K. Gujral replaced H.D. Devegaura, but soon I.K. Gujral resigned in 1997. In 1998, there was this mid-term Lok Sabha election which was fought in the background of political instability. We have to remember that post 1989, a situation is taking place or happening in Indian political scenario where, except the minority government of P.V. Narasimha Rao, no other governments are being able to complete the full term. And this was a very serious problem in a democracy, in a vast democracy like India. Because if we have elections, number of election, midterm election, it do tax the total budget of the country. So, I would like to carry on with this. Midterm Lok Sabha election happened in 1998 and BJP formed a new alliance with some of the political parties like AIADMK in Tamil Nadu, that is All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam in Tamil Nadu, Lok Shakti in Karnataka, All India Trinamool Congress in West Bengal, Telugu Desam Party Lakshmi Parvati in Andhra Pradesh, Biju Janata Dal in Orissa, HVP in Haryana and Samata Party in Bihar. Now, a situation in 1998 where BJP forms the government, but it lasts only 13 months. Soon, 1999 election, the National Democratic Alliance government comes up where the BJP is at the helm in the coalition. As I was continuously telling that slowly the country is moving towards a situation where the state parties are playing very important role. And here we find that the NDA government completes its full form with BJP in coalition, and in 2004 we have another election where there is a fractured verdict again. A coalition government is formed and the government is called UPA or United Progressive Alliance with Congress at the helm with the support of several other parties. Sri Manmohan Singh becomes the Prime Minister. Similarly, in 2009, UPA or United Progressive Alliance comes to power with Congress at the helm and Sri Manmohan Singh continuing as the Prime Minister. A change was found in 2014 where the Bharatiya Janata Party leadership under Sri Narendra Modi obtains a single majority, but still it has gone for alliance with several other parties. Indian political scenario has been changing since 1947, and from the Congress dominant situation we find that the state parties are coming up and these state parties are providing a reflection of the wishes and the aspirations of people living in far off areas in the country. India is a country, is a federation, or as K.C. Ware states, it's a quasi-federation where the center has more powers than the states. In this federal system, it is very necessary that the center and the states come together in order to help the country to progress. A cooperative federalism is the need of the day, and it is only possible when the national parties and the state parties come together and go ahead with their agenda in order to serve the demands of the people. In this scenario, we have found that the political parties have become more pragmatic. Ideology, it's taking a backseat, and pragmatism is taking a front seat. For the sake of electoral compulsions, political parties are ready to sacrifice their ideological leanings. Their aim is to form the government, and at times it has been seen that for the sake of forming the government, they have totally given up their agenda. In India, the political scenario has a multi-party system which has kept the vibrant democracy alive. A democracy where people and their wishes can be transformed and transferred to the government, and this work is being done by the political parties, whether national or state. Regionalization of political parties have taken place where the local identity and the local sentiments are very important to the political parties now. Parties are banking on these local sentiments. The rise of coalition government with two or more parties joining together are a need of the day, because political parties in a democracy has to fulfill the aspirations of the people and help the country to go ahead. So, in this lecture, we found that the evolution of the parties have taken place. Till 1967, there was Congress dominance, and slowly we found that the regional parties and the state parties are coming up. The coalition model, multi-party coalition models are coming up, and with the national parties, the state parties are combining together to form a government and help Indian democracy to thrive.